So far the multiplayer's been working pretty well. I've not lost a single packet today, so it must be Twitch or your network. Do the beacons reflect off stuff? I think it's dynamic lighting.
One small bit left.
I think the dynamic lighting reflects anyway. How many bits have we got?
There's one big bit there, right in front of you. And that should be the last bit. Just going to double check the field.
It's RTX. Is what RTX?
Looks like that's it.
No, there's no ray tracing.
Okay.
What settings do you get to choose for setup for multiplayer?
Do you want to attach that to the back of your brown tractor and I'll move the tractor with the trailer?
The only things that you set when you create the multiplayer
Basically full
are
again
the
already.
server name and the password, which network and bandwidth you want to use, the maximum number of players, that kind of thing. Then when you get in, you set the game settings in the game, I think. As in whether you want crop withering, whether you want crop destruction.
Where is it restoring this?
Sawmill.
Yeah, you take that to the sawmill and sell it there. There's like a... I don't know if you saw it in the stream yesterday, there's like a pile of dust, like sawdust out the back, and there's like a drop point there.
Okay.
Yeah, the northern side of the sawmill. Hard to find it.
So how many trees have we done here?
A lot. There's a big patch clear there now, so we can really extend this field.
This is one tree in the way. Still a few to go. People are laughing at me going, oh yeah, Squirrel's got to help us to help him clear the trees, lol. It's like, well, it just took 3 of us quite a while to shift that.
You're wrong with having help?
And that's not even half of it. What we need is like a full-on scorpion operation.
They don't work with those kind of funky shaped trees, do they?
So downside.
Casper, you thank you. Yeah, it's because I pressed these. You see, currently, this 12 button is mapped to the left indicator. Yeah. And then the 16 is mapped to the right indicator, and then the 14 is mapped to hazards. But I kind of think that that's a waste of buttons, because my indicators I've got mapped under here. It's like underneath the wheel, there's little paddles that you can press like that. So I'm using them as indicators. So I don't need 12 and 16 to do that. So I'm going to remap that to something. I just haven't decided what yet. BCS, that was not what I meant. It was if you could feel a difference when you drove over a dirt road or in a field. Experimental example, if it rained, the soil feels more wet and muddy. There's no force feedback on this wheel, so I can't tell you that, BCS. You'd have to try it on a G27 or 920 or something. Yeah, I'm actually liking this side panel. I wish it wasn't so expensive. Because it is kind of handy. And I can see myself using this in different sims. Oh, there you go. Force feedback's not in the game at all, BCS, so you can't feed anything over mud. Unless ground control was the mod that did that. Did ground control provide force feedback or not?
I'm not sure. I don't remember ever getting any.
Well, I might do, Nori. I literally only got this out today, bro. I might start using it for trucking. Although I don't know what I'd use that for trucking. This little gear stick thing. I'm not really sure what you'd use that for in trucking. But it has this nice wheel here, which you can use for cruise control.
Is this sell point just a hash marking on the floor?
So
Jack,
north, go north.
Yeah, go north.
Around the back of the big ship. It's very hard to find. If you go north from where you are, you'll see
right.
like a circular pile and a drop square in front of it. It took me a little while to find it.
I didn't went that first.
I didn't realise it went on further. Quite a big place.
The thing is about this though is it has it's
oh yeah, I see it now.
It's fully like analog, left, right, up and down. So it's basically a joystick, right? And then it has 2 buttons on top as well, and it twists. So it's quite a little versatile control, that one. Which makes it great for operating cranes and stuff, but in trucking I can't see what I'd use it for. I mean, if you don't have track IR, you could use it for a camera. But then on this thing, there's this wheel for the camera anyway, this thumbstick. Right, so what are we going to do here? Because we've now...
Don't forget to put crop destruction back on.
Do we want it on now?
Well, I'm happy either way, but it was on before.
Use it for buttons. Well, I've got all these buttons. So currently it's growing. Field 18's on the next stage and 15's on the first stage. Wait, if you look at 15, it's covered in weeds apparently. It's got a big, like, pink band of weeds on 15 on the north side. If I'm reading that right.
Yeah.
Lord Reaper.
I don't think we can do anything about that until we
do we have a
weed harvest
thing?
it, can we?
I think you can do it when it's first stage, then you spray it when it's grown a bit.
Say again? Lord Reaper.
Once it's fully pink, you can use the weeder on it.
But you can't do it until it's fully pink.
Well, makes more sense.
Already words of time gone. Didn't have my blood test today. Got to see my doctor to find out what type of blood test I need. Yeah, they normally they'd have a form, don't they? And they tick on like what test they want. Then you take that to the blood test people. Wait, the colours look what to you? The Logitech website even says you can lose it with Elite Dangerous and Train Sim. To be fair, you could. This is just generic buttons with colours and numbers. It doesn't need lime yet, I don't think, does it? Oh, what? Oh, no, that bit does. Yeah, that bit that we ploughed on 18, that needs lime on it, but there's no more point doing it until we've opened it up completely. But when we do expand 18, we need to lime it before we reseed.
Okay.
How much money have we got? 90 grand. So we've only got 90 grand. We can't afford another field, unfortunately.
Maybe do some contracts to pick up our funds a bit.
Probably the best thing, isn't it? Let's have a look at
Yeah,
the...
I'd really like to do some stuff with cotton, because that's the new thing, isn't it? If we get the chance.
harvesting. What's paying the most money? That one, field 7. Harvest a soybean. There's a contract on field 7 to harvest soybean. And another one on field 10 to harvest sugar beet. And there's a ploughing operation on field 5, which we could do because we actually have the ploughing equipment.
Do they not provide the equipment for you to use?
Yeah, you've got an option of renting the equipment for $3,000, or you can use your own. So what we could do is do both, maybe. This would be an interesting test. We could rent the equipment and use our own, and that will give us a net profit of about $13,000.
Nice. Well, I'm just going to take a quick fire.
See that, we buy a second plough. How much is a second plough? $59,000. Ouch. How much is that to lease? 4.7. Blimey. BCS, sometimes I wish I was English. That would make life a lot easier to explain things. What I ask is, does the tractor wheel spin or sink in the ground? I've seen them spin. I don't know, BCS. Let's try it. Let's drive over some muddy stuff and see what happens. Oh yeah, I remember that, Nori. I remember that. Mrs. Squirrel, she walked in at the wrong time, didn't she? Let's see. Lease items. Field 5. Okay. So field 5. Should be some items we can lease at the shop as well. So I'll take our plough and... Where's field 5? Yeah, field 5 is quite big. Have you seen the driver's seat bouncing as you go over bumps? Well, I'll drive over some bumpy stuff and you can see what happens. There you go, like that. So it does, you know, does do this. DC88 with a little mini sub bomb there, 5 subs. Gifted to TEQ, Brightside, Bagger13, Ashworth, and Jeff M. Guys, just remember to thank your sub gifter, in this case DC88. Thank you very much, DC. Super kind. Just quickest way here, left or right?
I'm back.
Oh, welcome back.
So what's the plan?
Well, I'm taking our equipment to field 5, and I've also leased the equipment to plough field 5, so we're on a ploughing operation.
Anything else we need to take there?
For ploughing, I don't think so.
Okay.
To the nut house.
Yeah, the big plough what's just being leased is a bit, yeah, not.
What, a monster?
That's huge.
I can't even connect to it.
Welcome to the nut house.
Yeah,
See
that's
the
gonna
problem,
need.
Jack?
That's gonna need something bigger.
Yeah, but it's the fact that I can't.
Actually,
Into it.
yeah, it's like it's half gone through the floor.
Yeah.
I had to get rid of that little dead thing there. That 4 or
Can't make it
5%
sit
dead
down
zone.
again.
Track hour works, yeah. Works fine. It worked in 17, to be
If you
honest.
can, try and give it a knock from this side that I'm stood on. Might push it back over.
Yeah.
I've not seen that windmill
Really
before.
not having it.
That's cool.
Might need a reset, see if that will do it.
Yeah.
Slowly coming down. It's just slowly coming down then.
Oh.
Reset.
Ah, sorry.
It's alright.
There you go. It seems to be less stable now.
I think this is 5 ahead.
Nice.
See how many times I get stuck.
Yeah, good
No,
luck.
this tractor's got a 250 engine in it. It's fine.
I'll follow you just in case.
Welcome back, Meta.
I don't use eye tracking. It's no use for me. Accomplished Industries, welcome back for 9 months Twitch, baby.
Happy anniversary, Meta.
Remind me again, when you're ploughing, does the wheel go on the inside?
Welcome
I
back,
can never remember that.
Meta.
You and me both.
I'm sure it's on the outside.
So does the wheel go on the bit that you've done?
Yeah, the bit what you just done, so
Happy
it tracks into it.
anniversary, Meta.
Let's try that. There's a dog round here somewhere. A goober. Thank you for 13 months. Leading edge of the plough goes where you just passed, not counting the first pass. Okay, so the wheel always sits on the unploughed land. Is that right? So when I go back the other way, I'll turn it around so that the wheel will sit on the unploughed side. Okay. That's easy to remember. That makes some sense. Did I just run over a dog? I hope not. No, that was an in-game dog. That wasn't Doyle. Let's go around in a circle. Could do. Do the corner later. I don't think anybody would do this IRL though, would they? Be kind of hard to seed this.
What, you got here okay?
So BCS, I don't know. You can see it bouncing around. Actually, I've got cruise control. Look, if I press this, and then I can set with this wheel, I can set the speed of my cruise. Look. You see bottom right, the speed changing with that wheel. It's really handy, that is. Take your foot off the accelerator, just kick back. Have a cup of tea,
While you two are
or in
doing
this
that, I'll
case,
find another job.
Coca-Cola.
Alright.
Yeah, the uptime used to sit on the bar, but I removed the bar, so there is no contrast up there, but I kind of wanted to keep it subtle and not in your face. Hey,
If you go down straight and straighten it off, and I'll just do this corner. Keep it easy for us.
if I go what?
Straight down at 90 degrees.
Like that, you mean? Your plow's bigger than my plow.
Looks like we can only take one contract at a time.
See you later, Misty. What, really?
Yeah. I tried taking another one. It says our farmer's already got a contract.
Which contract was you looking for?
I was looking at field 10, 15 grand for harvesting some sugar beets. And if you rent the equipment, you only lose $800.
Yep, I think you're right. One active contract at a time. Didn't know that.
I have to wait to do that one then.
What's boring, JK? Thank you, Sharpie. Nice of you to say. The fact that you can't do multiple contracts is boring. I wouldn't say it's boring, I just say it's a restriction. It's annoying. I can kind of see the sense in it, particularly in a multiplayer environment, because otherwise you can have one farm just hogging a load of contracts. But it would be nice if you could do maybe like 2 or 3 at a time rather than just one. You hate plowing, Danny. Plowing is no different to seeding, really. You know, just a little bit more tricky, but... Does anyone know if any of the farming sims have ever had direct drive? No. No, not at all. WJSM? Not really down with the spamming, bro. Yeah, I don't think it does at all. Passive, even have force feedback. That's very true, Lieutenant Scrolls. Okay, WJ, well, we all know what's going to happen soon, don't we? Join the hive, join the hive. Oh yeah, it's got John Deere in now, Rick. Absolutely.
$15 needs weeding now. So does 18. They're both completely covered.
Do you want to go and sort the weeding out then?
Yep, can do. We do have a weeder, right?
No, I'll have to buy one or rent one. I don't know how much they are, actually.
Let's have a look. Cheapest weeder is 18 grand.
18 grand?
Yep.
How much is it to rent?
1,400.
Oh, I think we're just going to have to buy one, aren't we? Because, like, we can't just keep spending 1,400 every time we want to use one.
Yeah.
We're going to need one anyway.
Yeah, the medium-sized one is 35. does 12 meters wide. The cheapest is 9.
It always does that. Mickey Mooka,
Purchased.
it always plows it weirdly like that. Wildcat, I'm using Track IRC. Whether it supports Toby, I don't know. I don't use it. Good evening from Glasgow Airport, Steel Games. Where are you flying to? Right, I've got crate fields turned on. Really? Oopsie. Don't remember having that turned on.
Welcome to the nut house.
Jensen A3, welcome to the house. Thank you for your support, Jensen. You're off to Singapore? Nice. So what aircraft are you flying on? Not planted the trees yet, Nerdcastle.
Ai, ai, ai.
Jeff, M42. Emirates. No, what kind of plane? Jeff M42. Was watching some old Sunday Night Trucking while playing ETS2. Kept getting trolled by Jules, so GG. Also, thanks to the gift sub. We'll hopefully be able to keep renewing and keep this thing going. Thanks, Jeff. Thanks for the bits, mate. If you, Steel Games, if you've got your flight number, yeah, you can go to like Flight Radar or anywhere like that, punch it in, and it'll tell you what aircraft it is and when it leaves. Am I pre-ordering the Republic of Gamers phone magic? No, I use an iPhone myself. Yes, there's radio in the game, Glyn. YJ, I'm in a multiplayer environment now. There's 3 of us in here at the moment. Northern Alex has not replied yet, no. Yeah, there's 2 of us ploughing this field and Jack's gone weeding. How's the weed?
I've picked it up. Apparently you can fill this one, but I don't know what you fill it with.
What, a weeder? And you have to fill it with, like, some kind of chemical then?
I imagine so.
Have a look in at the pallets and see if there's, like, an obvious pallet there. Your money hasn't changed in the 2 hours you've been away.
Oh, herbicide.
Are you serious? We was on 102 grand.
I assume it'll be that. $2.5 grand for the herbicide.
How do I feel about equipment needing maintenance after a bit of time? I think it should be in the game and it should be an
Is that
option.
the herbicide tank you got about?
Yeah.
That's for the herbicide sprayer.
What goes in the weeder then?
Welcome back, Meta.
Modus, welcome back, sir. How does maintenance work? I'm not exactly sure, but if you look over the speedo there, you can see like a little spanner. And that is essentially the maintenance. So I guess at that point I have to take it back to the shop and pay some fee. I'm thinking that's what it is. You any idea how the maintenance works?
No.
Can I ask your review on the SciTech Farmstead wheel pedals and side panels? I've been reading a lot of negative comments.
Vehicles in the other tank, not vehicles with deteriorate. Vehicles in repairs will speed engine.
So, Pudek, first thing, I've only been using it for a few hours, so I can only give you my initial impressions. I can't give you a review or anything. Rip, that's what I did to the field. My bad. So, here's what I think, right? I think this panel is actually really useful. It has a lot of buttons. It clamps on the desk really well, and I like this stick. This is really useful. As a wheel, this is a useful wheel, but it's far too plasticky for my liking. And the same with the pedals. Having said that, you can use that panel with any wheels you like. So you're not... Oh, crikey. So I'm not paying attention now. So you're not stuck to using that panel with these wheels. You can if you want to. It has a lot of... It's typically SciTech, right? It's useful in terms of its buttons and stuff, but it's just too plasticky for me. SciTech flight sticks are exactly the same. They have loads of useful buttons, but they're really plasticky and horrible. Like this wheel actually physically moved. Like that. You can buy this separately. So you can buy that on its own and it's USB, plugs in, but it's like 120 quid or something. So it's not cheap. At the moment, on Amazon UK, you can buy the whole lot less than you can buy that. It's currently on offer. It's like 45% off. Why don't I use my G27?
Like
I used it yesterday and I had problems.
Or something.
And also, I wanted to try the whole thing. What was that, Jack?
The, what you put in the weeder. Just wondering if it's just space for fertilizer or something.
Is it actually weeding as you drag it around?
I haven't even started doing it yet. I'm still at the shop, just wondering what to put in it.
Well, yeah, like you say, it might be a combo fertilizer and weeder, so you weed and fertilize at the same time. Stick some fertilizer in it and then see if it works. And if it does, it'll go dark blue. Because it's on a separate thing now, so we need fertilizer anyway. Yeah. So see if you can throw some... just buy one of the fertilizer pallets, pull up alongside and see if you can load it. First class command point, your flight is United Emirates... UAE 26777 from Terminal M. 777, nice. Suicide Dirk. Next week I'll have a review video which covers the Thrustmaster TX and the TMX Pro and the G920 and the G27. That's what I've been filming for 2 days. Friend Alex had the same issue with the chainsaw on his G27. He was able to correct the issue. I wonder what he did. Well, it's got the Almar in it, Tommy.
No, it's not fertilizer.
I want to do a separate video on the Almar.
seeds, is it?
Maybe.
Well, what I might do is I
Where's
might
the
get my
seed thing
Thrustmaster wheel and put it with that panel. I don't know.
Just buy a pallet or something.
I can't see one in the pallet thing.
Just take it over to the field and start using it and see if it weeds.
Yeah, I think it'll still work as a weeder. I didn't know what you were supposed to fill it with, if it made it more efficient or something.
Have a look in the online built-in help to see under weeds and see if it mentions anything.
I had a look at the help guide and there wasn't anything mentioned. It just said that you need to weed, otherwise there'll be a minus to the growing efficiency. So it didn't go into any details.
Well, that sounds about right, NPR. JT Airbus, thank you for the bits. Hello, Squirrel, this game looks pretty good. Have you got any plans to fly and VAT sim in the near future? At the moment, I don't. I'm still waiting for the new codec, which they're promising. Because every time I tune into, like, a stream where they're on VAT sim, and I listen to the codec, I'm like, yeah, this is kind of why I don't fly in VAT sim. It's really hard to understand what they're saying. The weedy turns blue on the map on the first phase of growth. I wonder if the tank holds fertilizer for when they go on past the first. That's weird. Because the weeding should only remove the weed colour, not actually fertilize it. What do you mean fixed the dog, Tommy boy? The dog works. It still climbs sandcastles in a rather interesting way, though. You meant weed killer for the past the first growth. You did your driving test today, failed speeding at least 3 times. What do you mean? Flug! Wait a minute, Flug. You did your driving test and you were speeding 3 times on your driving test. Really? Because you should have an award for that. That's amazing. A bravery award. I'm surprised they let you carry on, to be honest. I mean, if you go speeding, that is like a massive red flag to the instructor. You failed for speeding in the last 100 yards towards the end. Oh my god.